Hello, I'm back. Let me see if I can move this better. Okay. Hi. So I want to start off by telling you about something new. I'm going to give you some bad advice. I mean, advice you might not like, but then I'm going to give you, or it's a message, sorry. I'm going to give you a bad message. And then I'm going to give you a good message because I have good news and bad news. But I think I'll start with the bad news. So, the bad news is that I've decided to stop doing astrology videos. I know a lot of people won't like that, but hopefully you won't hold it against me. Just kidding. April Fools. That was the good news. It's April Fools. Okay. So I'm going to continue the readings. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, but I feel like I'm good enough to provide guidance and do the best I can. It's very gloomy out, and I always feel like my energy kind of coincides with the weather, you know? So we shall see. I really want to focus today on April. And I know last time we didn't get to all the signs. It was just like things kept coming up. It was very in the flow, and I'm still kind of getting the hang of this. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. It means a lot. All right. So maybe we should start off with the signs that we didn't really get to. And I believe we did Libra. So let's focus on Scorpio this April. And if someone comes in and they want me to do a reading for them and their sign, I will jump to that for sure. So just keep that in mind. All right, so Scorpio, what can we expect this April? This is just kind of a glimpse. You know, they're not very in depth because we're just trying to get a good idea of the energy here. All right. I feel like this April is going to be kind of by the book for Scorpio, you know? Scorpio is a very like transformational sign. It's very serious at times, very intense. And yay, May 20th. I love that. Our birthday is coming up soon. It's going to be exciting. You know what? I'm going to do Taurus, Gemini cusps instead of Scorpio because you're here. So maybe that would be better. So let's see what Taurus, Gemini cusps have in store for April. I love our energy, the Gemini's, the cusp of energy. So there's that. Yes, it is. I think what I love about our cusp so much is like how versatile we are. Like we can adapt to things so easily, but at the same time, like we have a need for routine and like I don't know, there's this groundedness, but at the same time, we can still float above everyone else. And we're just really awesome. You know, I just love us. So cool. Yeah. I think that as time goes on, I'm starting to embrace my Taurus energy a lot more because I always felt a little bit more like a Gemini. And then now I feel like I'm kind of coming into myself, you know, like there's this flightiness, but for me personally, like at this time of my life, especially after my Saturn return, which just happened, I just feel very like in need of more grounded energy and keeping things simple. Like, I don't know. It's just, it feels like a different part of my life. So I don't know if you can relate to that, but I just feel like there's like this sense of we adapt pretty easily to things, but there's also this need to slow down and like embrace nature and where we are. Woo! See, these cards are tired of being shuffled. Ugh. All right. Okay. Important messages coming up. I feel like there's a lot of things that we have to get off our chest. There is somebody probably that we might be afraid of confronting. I love how I'm saying we because I'm reading like my sign as well. I need to stop shuffling these. Okay. But I do feel like with the miser here, there's this sense of being caught up in our own bubble, our own world, and needing to really like not focus solely on ourselves, but focus on our attention on the people around us this April. Because there can be this energy of getting so obsessed with something we're doing, like a project or something we're passionate about. We get so into it that it's really important for us to also empathize with people around us and remind ourselves to like go out and have fun with people and chill. And I think that is going to be like a major thing here. And a lot of this has to do with kind of being okay with saying things that other people don't want to hear. Like other people might not be okay with the things we have going on. They might not be accepting, but also it's about communicating. And you know what else is coming up? Or it's happened, right? It's starting. Mercury in retrograde. So for Geminis, especially, or even Taureminis, we have this need for to say things, to like get things out there in the open, to speak. And I feel like this is going to be a time of extreme, like it's going to feel for us, it's going to feel more impulsive. Like we might say things and then we're like, can I take it back? Because instead of feeling blocked vocally or feeling like we can't communicate fully, it's going to feel like we have to say things that we don't have control over. And I think like it can feel like a word vomit. Like we're just saying things sometimes. Um, and while to us, it makes perfect sense. It can feel like we're going in circles to other people sometimes. So that's something to look out for. I don't know if you resonate with that at all, but it's like this feeling of when we speak things into existence, you know? We say our truth. And so that's very, very important to anyone with Gemini. And I have Gemini, I have Mercury in Gemini. So I feel like I'm like a very, I don't know, personally, that's very resonant for me. Um, and here, I also feel like it's also about being flexible with other people, being okay with where we're at, but also like I love how I was talking about adaptability when this comes. Yeah, I think that's really common too for a lot of cusp signs is to have like the Mercury in the next sign over. So for us, it's really intense, right? Because, Mercury is like Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So it's like this double whammy of just needing to like communicate. And there's this intellectual side of us that really needs to be challenged, especially by people that we're around. Like we need to have really important conversations with people, right? And this is just telling me that this Mercury in retrograde is going to be difficult. Ugh, but it's also Aries season, and Aries season is very impulsive and we're going to have that like need to like speak, to say things. Could mean like exactly. Yeah, cuz you have to like keep things interesting. And especially in relationships, oh my god, if I have to be in a relationship where someone doesn't talk, like I like dating people who are quiet, but if I can't have a conversation with them, I do not do well with that. So I'm very blessed to have a partner who's also mercurial. Um, but I think that it's really difficult for people with our Tereminis because they can get so yeah, there you go. Like you have to, right? But I mean, there's also that energy that's very subtle that, we need our quiet time, alone time, I think is a really big deal. Very independent, right? Very independent people that really just need our space. But when we do want to be around other people, especially our loved ones, we want to say it. We want to talk. And if we speak things out loud, they have to happen, you know? So the stubbornness can be a lot, that's the Taurus energy, but the Gemini energy gets helps that move forward a little bit. I feel personally like when I'm stubborn, I am not very like I don't feel like it lasts very long, you know? Like it just kind of moves forward anyway. And I don't really change my mind as much, but I don't it's not something I dwell on for a long, long time. If I just kind of go with the flow a lot of the time too. So it's interesting. But yeah, so the miser here tells me that it's really going to be about not just staying in our bubble, getting caught up in our thoughts, in our heads, feeling this nervous energy and just letting it weigh us down. It's about really expanding and empathizing with people, getting out of our own way, and being okay with people not like listening to us or fully accepting the things we have to say. I think delivery is a big thing, and it's not something we usually struggle with, but I feel like getting the right words out might be difficult this Aries season, especially because of the Mercury in retrograde. So it might feel like we're speaking too much or going in circles. So I think that's really important to look at. And I'm going to pull some more cards here. Let me see if I can, yeah. What is your husband's sign, if I may ask? I don't know if you're still here. Because I think like it often is very interesting for me to see other people signs like that they're dating or married to. Ooh, this is a good one. Okay. Interesting. Why do I feel like okay, so that makes sense. And that's also airy, but in a different way. I love that. Yeah, so October 7th. So this is a time of fun, of really embracing life and just taking the bull by the horns and just like riding it. I feel like with the King of Cups reversed here, our loved ones might be kind of like prima donnas. I don't know if your husband gets kind of dramatic sometimes or over emotional at times when you're like the normal one, not the normal one, the more grounded one. Sometimes it's like the roles can reverse. I feel like that is kind of the energy I'm getting is that you're trying to have fun and maybe someone else can be like a drama queen. Yeah, exactly. I love that we're vibing on this. And I feel like for us, it's going to be really important to, this kind of goes back to the miser, is like being compassionate, being empathetic towards them, but also not taking everything they say seriously, having fun. I also feel like the people, like our friends, are going to be a big deal, making new friends perhaps. Um, I feel like, let me see. I feel like there might be some, not jealousy, but if you're in a relationship or, you're married, you might feel like your husband misses you even though you haven't even been gone very long. Like maybe you're out with your friends more. Hello, nice to see you, or not see you, but nice to hear from you as well. So with Gemini's, we are definitely going to have to deal with like partners maybe feeling more emotional around us, and having to be the one that is like the carefree kind of down to earth, go with the flow one. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like there's a lot of like need for independence, need for space, but also just like staying true to ourselves and not getting swayed by that, because sometimes we can get sucked into other people's problems because we do care, we care very deeply about them. So this is more about like the time of having fun and like pushing boundaries a little bit, maybe not in the relationship, but it's kind of like when like our partners have to kind of deal with our whirlwinds and they just kind of have to be accepting of them. This is like kind of roles reversed here where you have to just kind of go with it. Just be like, okay, I get it. I'm here for you. But this is a very beautiful time, very powerful time of just not taking everything too seriously. Like I said, taking the bull by the horns and socializing is a really big deal. So maybe including, yeah, you should have fun. This is the time. And the other thing is because it's Mercury in retrograde, you can't take what people say to heart right now. Like if somebody rubs you the wrong way or says something, like you just have to kind of go with it. Just like ask them about it after Mercury in retrograde because this is a time for socializing and you do not want drama. Drama is like we have an aversion to drama because we have a Taurus side to us, which really values simple life and just like sees through BS. They do not want to be a part of shenanigans and complex situations, right? Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. But it's also nice because it provides you this ability to be very sensitive, to situations that arise around you. Like you're going to have an easier time empathizing, because it's so much easier to go about things in more of a like a gentle, careful way too, where you're not just charging into it. But yeah, I feel you on that. I think that it's hard. But at the same time, like there's such a beautiful feminine energy to kind of just flow with Cancer. Um, and you have to be careful not to mother your person. I'm assuming that's probably what happens with your husband, is that you might do things because you mean well, but you also like want to take care of them a little bit. Yeah. It's like super common. Um, and I think that like that's completely normal. But I do feel like when it comes to communication, that's going to be a major thing here. Like I feel like there's something that you're going to have to tell them that you really just like don't want to, but you can't run from it. And I'm sensing that coming up for us. So it's interesting. Um, oops. Okay, the Ace of Swords. Yeah, exactly. So there's this truth that we're seeking that has to come to the surface and we won't be able to hide from it. So it's more like about how we deliver it. And this, I know it's very vague because this is like an overall Taurus Gemini cusp reading. So, um, but I feel like really taking charge of the situation and doing it before, like, I hate when I have to find out about something from another person, like, yeah, like I just hate doing that. I'd rather someone just be upfront with me and tell me. And I mean, Cancer rising might have a difficult time with that, but you also have all that Gemini energy that, you just are able to deal with. Does that make your I'm trying to think of astrology. So if you're Cancer rising, does that mean your sun is like closer to your it's like what, the 10th house maybe, or 11th? I'm not thinking very clearly right now. Um but yeah. This is just going to be a fun time, and I feel like this just comes with Mercury in retrograde. This is just how it is. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so we just have to kind of avoid the drama. Okay, so 11th house. Yeah, so you're I mean, this is basically in the theme of like the the people in your life, the direction you're taking. It's just this isn't a time for like picking a path and taking a direction. This is just the time to like kind of feel things through and feel your feelings and just, have a blast. I feel like this is also about taking charge in just in your career as well, kind of stepping up, letting other people do their have their feelings. Yeah. Okay, well, Libra moons. So, I mean, I feel like this is not going to be a difficult for you then because Libra moons can they need a lot of like balance. They can be objective about things and not need to kind of always have a path or a direction, That kind of adds a very mellow vibe to you. So you have all this like very beautiful feminine energy surrounding you. Like it just adds this very mellow, calming feeling to your, you know, to your chart, to your energy. So as far as taking like the time to relax and do your own thing, I mean, this is going to be so easy. I feel like April is actually going to be pretty easy compared to most of the times for you, just based on these cards. I do feel like when it comes to taking charge and like the bull by the horns, this might be a little more, that might be where you struggle here because with the Emperor card, we have this kind of authoritative energy, and you're going to have to be the authority maybe in your marriage. So it's like, I feel like your husband's just going to go through his own cycles, and you kind of have to just like roll with that and go through things with him like that. So, yeah. But I'm not saying something bad is going to happen to your husband. Let me just be clear about that. I think there are times in our lives where we're just a little bit more emotional. Um, yeah. So, yeah, like you can be like that grounded, safe space. I think that's beautiful. Um, I personally like in my relationship, I feel like I'm the dramatic one. So, sometimes I feel like when my boyfriend does get dramatic, I'm like, whoa, like he does do it sometimes, but I feel like this is a good warning for me as well because now I can know how to be and what role to play. Um, but yeah, I'm just like the weird one, I think, like the weird eccentric one. But I love that you have that kind of dynamic too, because it's like you're able to take on his energy with those two, with the rising sign in Cancer and the, yeah. Oh, but I own being weird. I love being weird. It's fine. Like I'm not. I don't like. I don't want to be normal. So maybe that makes me weird, but whatever. I like it. It's fine. I think we're just like I think that's what's so great about our about Terreminis is that we're so great at being like our own person. We're very independent and original, and we can just like do us. And like other people don't have to like it. I feel like one of the things that's the most challenging for me is actually like having to tell someone what I'm doing all the time, like having to inform them that I'm what I'm up to 24/7, but I end up doing it anyway, and then I get annoyed. I don't know if you can relate to that at all, but it's like that this that's kind of a struggle a lot of Gemini's face. is like just needing to, you don't want to have to report to anyone because you're your own person, and you've got to just kind of roll with it. Yeah. All right. I'm going to try to move forward, and I really enjoyed this. Thank you um allowing me to like do this. This is really great. I'm glad I didn't have to talk about Tereminis without another Teremini present, because I just felt like we could like vibe on that. All right, Scorpio. Yes, thank you. Scorpios. Let's try Scorpios again. Unless someone else tells me their sign and they want me to jump to that, I will definitely yeah, I will definitely do that first, but we'll start with Scorpios, because last time I don't think I got to them. Okay. So Scorpio this April. This is an exciting one. Oh my God. Okay. I feel like this is going to be a really creative, beautiful time, and romance is in the air. Okay. This is a very transformational period. This is going to be a time of like beauty. I feel like you're going to meet someone new that may just like charm your socks off, Scorpio. There's going to be a relationship that is brought to the forefront. I feel like love is in the air. Love is prioritized. It is my favorite, one of my favorite cards of this deck. It's just so beautiful. It's all about expression and love and vulnerability and just being in this state of bliss and happiness. Let me see. Okay. So I'm seeing like a relationship being exposed. Perhaps there is a revelation that you have with a relationship, like maybe it's something that you haven't even realized was happening, but you're like, whoa, what are we? Like, this is the time when people find out about you. They find out about your love, they find out about your labels, they find out about like something. It's about another person in your life. This could also represent a time when you finally reveal something that you had been hiding from them. Like, you might reveal something very like very intense. I feel like I'm just getting this wow factor. So this could be something that you've been hiding from your partner, or something you haven't been like brave enough to tell them yet. But here you are telling them. Yeah, this is the time to express yourself. This could also be a time for confessing your feelings. Like, there are so many different messages coming from these two cards. So I want to make sure that we go into this carefully. All right. Just going to slide these down. Okay. All right. It might feel like you have exposed a part of yourself, Scorpio. I feel like the way Scorpio is, they have to go through these like intense experiences in order to change. And for you, it's going to be all about like showing the darkest parts of yourself to your partner. If you're in a relationship, that is. I feel like this is a time where you're going to expose this part of yourself, something that you've been keeping, and it may be something you hadn't even realized you had. Like, perhaps maybe you didn't realize you had feelings for someone, and then it comes up. So this is a major time for expressing these feelings, expressing whatever it is that you're keeping within. And this may cause arguments, it may cause some, like mixed messages. It may feel like you're not really sure where to, like, who to point your fingers at. You're looking for someone else to blame. But this is also a time where you gain so much. Like, for example, by telling someone you have feelings for them or you realize you have feelings for them, this could create conflict, right? But it could also mean that you're finally able to give love, to give your heart to someone, and they're able to, like, you're able to receive it from them. So you're opening up new opportunities, you know? I love that this is coming up because it's never fun. It makes me squirm, to think about fully opening up everything and putting all my cards out on the table, especially when it comes to my feelings, right? But at the same time, it's a necessity. And of course, it's going to cause some conflict, you know? There is a very But there is this romance that comes with the poet, and this is why it leads me to believe that this is not a bad thing at all. Like, this is going to be such a beautiful experience for you. This is a time where you might get some psychic downloads or even inspirational downloads, like for a creative project, for passions that you have. This is a time where you are really revealing your passions to the world, to the people you care about. So if you're working on a project or you're like opening yourself up that way to other people and you're like revealing your art or something, like, this is the time to do that. This is a time of exposure, and I feel like it may start out where things are kind of cloudy, but it will turn into such a interesting and beautiful romantic relationship if it were to go the way you want. So I realize this is kind of all over the place, but I was just getting so many different messages about this, and I think that these cards really helped me really narrow down what it is. But whatever resonates with you, this is for you. This is a collective reading for Scorpio, so I totally I totally am fine with that. Um but yeah, I also feel like this is a time when the only thing I see Mercury in retrograde doing is making it, like, difficult to hide your feelings. I feel like you're going to have to kind of sort through what they are, but yeah, this is the time to expose them. I feel like you're going to see your love exposed. If this is like a love that you've had in secret, like an affair or something, or a situationship, this is the time when the reality of it is going to be exposed to other people. For perhaps this is like when your family finds out about your romance or you introduce them. You know what I mean? Like, this is a time of exposure for that. All right. Also, I do feel like if you've been waiting for someone to reciprocate love to you, Scorpio, this is a time when people are going to finally start to give back. You're going to finally start to receive the love you want back. So, this is a beautiful experience. It's kind of like people can't fully give everything to you unless they know it, right? Like, why would someone give you a bouquet of roses if you didn't tell them you cared about them? You know what I mean? Like, I know that's probably a really bad example, but this is kind of what I'm getting. So, blah, 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 blah. All right. Ugh, I'm just hearing the heart wants what the heart wants. The Justice card reversed is really about things righting themselves. Whatever felt off, whatever felt like it wasn't being fair, right, in the relationship, I feel like it's going to be reciprocated. Things are going to right themselves, like balance is happening. And it's just a beautiful moment. Romantically, there are times to celebrate your love. Perhaps there is, whether it's your anniversary, perhaps. I just feel like this is a really beautiful, beautiful time. you know? Um, and I do see, like, if you are an artist, this is the time where you're gonna, like, maybe have, like, an art showing, you know what I mean? Like, this is if you're interested in having your art be seen, this is a good time for you to do that. This is, like, getting exposure for your passions. Yeah, so since, I don't see any Scorpios here, I'm gonna continue. If you're tuning in and you have any questions or you want to a reading, I'm here for you. All right, Scorpio, Sagittarius. Sagittarius. I'll have to go in order again for the cusps too. Yeah. Sagittarius. What can we expect this April? April, Sagittarius. Wow. Okay. The Thief. I knew it. This is going to be such an amazing time because it's all about seizing the moment. If anyone tries to tell you what to do, screw them. They are like, this is the time to be selfish. Honestly, I feel like you've put in a lot of time, a lot of effort into helping other people, doing the right thing. But you know what? Time to be naughty. Time to do you. Time to take what you want out of the situation you're in. Take what you want out of life because it's not like they're going to hand it to you. So if you have to take what you want, and I'm not talking about like sex, okay? Because like consent is everything, all right? I'm not telling you to like take something from somebody with that, like that. But I mean, like, if you're tired of people telling you what to do and you're tired of always the situation going a certain way, this is the time to just do what's best for you. If that comes across as self-centered or egotistical to other people, screw it. If you've been waiting and waiting and waiting for other people to catch up with you, screw it. Stop waiting, Go further. April is a time for you to be you and take charge in your own life. Like, this is your time to shine. Actually, I'm going to use one of these. I'm really enjoying this kind of combination. Ooh, the gazelle. So I don't know if you do yoga or if you're into spirituality or if you have some kind of practice, but this is the time to lean into that because this shows me that it's almost like the outside world is becoming too much. You might feel a little overwhelmed. You're very sensitive as a soul. And I feel like how you treat your body, how you treat your, mind, this is all going to come into play. A lot of this has to do with like self-love, self-care, getting massages, going to the spa. Like, this is your time to take care of your body, to eat healthy. The more you mistreat yourself, the more it's not going to work. And paired with the Thief, we know that you need to treat yourself. This could mean getting a really nice massage. This could mean, booking a spa trip, honestly. Like, this could mean going out to a really nice restaurant. Hi, can I know what are Ken's true intentions towards me currently? I can answer that, but I'm just in the middle of this reading, so it will be done very soon though, but I can definitely answer that question. I just can't like stop at this second. So, um, all right. So yeah, booking a trip to the spa, doing something really nice, treating yourself to a nice, situation, like, this is for you. All right. Okay. Also, this also means matters of the heart. if you have been hesitating on whether to give someone space or not, like, you know what? This is about you here. This is about your journey. So for Sagittarius, yeah, go for it. Also when it comes to, you know, flirting or going out on dates, don't put up with things you don't want to put up with. It's your life. This is what this is telling me, is that you come first. Put yourself first in these situations. The gazelle can be very sensitive, and what really puts a damper on them is being in situations that are really like overcrowded, overstimulated. They need their freedom, right? That's a very big theme for Sagittarius. And with the Knight of Cups, this is telling me that there's somebody that is a romantic interest. This person wants to be with you, but they also have like a lot of demands on you. I feel like they care about you very deeply. I'm seeing them being someone that they do have extremely good intentions for you. But at this point, it's like you also have to make sure your cup is being filled. Like everyone has like a romantic cup. Um, Antoinette, yes, I definitely can answer your question, but I'm going to finish this. Then I will focus on Crystal, and then I can get to you if you want me to, if you're still here. Because I kind of have to go in order. So, all right. I'll try to wrap this up though, because there are no Sagittariuses. All right. So I feel like the only thing that could really get in your way is if you don't put yourself first, and you let like thoughts about other people get in the way of your happiness. This is a time where you might have to walk away from people that you care about, because you have to do you. You have to put you first. Even if it's hard, you won't regret it in the end. All right. That's what I'm going to go with for Sagittarius. All right. Crystal, if you're still here, let me know. And I will tackle your question. Let me just grab a drink because my throat is killing me. Okay, good. All right, so we have, what are Ken's true intentions towards me currently? All right. I feel like Ken is very, like, from what I'm getting with the muse here, Ken thinks really highly of you. I feel like Ken actually has a lot of positive thoughts towards you. Um, Thank you, Daphne. I'll get to you in a second, okay? I just have to go in order. Thanks, though. I feel like, yeah, so I feel like Ken definitely has some very positive thoughts towards you. I don't actually see it being negative at all. So I want to look at like probably like why you're feeling this way, because it doesn't align with his intentions. So the hawk here is telling me that I feel like he's watching you. He's waiting for you. It's like it's weird because you're waiting for him, but he's waiting for you too. It's almost like you guys are like watching each other. And I wonder what it is going through his life that is making him feel so like yeah, yeah, I know, it's funny. Um I wonder what's going on with him that's making him feel like he can't approach you. You can manure, but I'm going in order, so I will have to circle back to you. Okay. The Ace of Cups is telling me like he definitely has feelings for you. It's almost like it's like he's kind of like trying to figure out how to approach you. So weird. Okay, I feel like he is also hearing things from different people. I don't know why. I don't know who could be talking to like about you, but I feel like they're kind of giving him mixed messages. I feel like you're hesitating or he's hesitating because of this, but honestly, let me just see. Like I feel like I can just give you some guidance about this because at this point, when you get the poet, it's just about expressing your feelings. Like this is about putting yourself out there, being vulnerable and telling him how you feel. And if he doesn't like if he's saying things that don't align with what I'm saying, that's on him. Because you like his feelings are there. I feel like they're there. And I think honestly, he's just hesitating because of all this other noise. Crystal? Does that make sense? It's like these other voices, other noise. Yeah. Yay! Well, I'm glad this was helpful, and I really wish you the best. I hope that things work out. Like I can't control what he does, but I can tell you that he definitely is very optimistic about you. You're definitely in his, like, he's thinking about you. That just comes up like straight up. So that's what they're saying. Okay. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm glad I could help with that. Um, Antoinette, are you still there? I know it's kind of hard because things are building up. Thank you so much, Crystal. Um, Yay. Okay. Fantastic. Do you have anything specific you would like to ask me about your future? Um, I can do my best to get more clear on that. But if it's something really complex, I don't know if I'll be able to do it on the stream. Yeah. If not, I can just give you a general reading. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and give you a general reading, Antoinette, because I haven't seen anything. So, okay. So, fate. We definitely know that there's always something going on. Like, there's always free will and there's fate. Just having a hard time recently. Okay. What you need to know is that with fate, it has to do with guidance. And I feel like someone's coming into your life and it's trying to reach out to you and accept help. But when this card comes up, it always indicates someone that you have never met. It's usually a stranger. And so, what's really powerful about this is a time where you are assisted, you're guided. It's almost like somebody wants to help you. You're not as alone as you feel. Actually, I'm going to get one of these. So, I hope that's a good start for you because I can tell you here that you're not alone in this situation. I feel like someone's coming in. I think that you also underestimate yourself. I feel like there's a strong journey ahead of you. This could also have to do with work. I feel like your work life comes into play here. It's almost like there's something you've been wanting to do, but you don't feel like you're qualified, or you don't feel like you're good enough to do that, and like your voice won't matter. Does that make sense? Because it's like this happens a lot when people are maybe shy or they're afraid to speak up about something that because they think that they're not ready, but you're at this level in your life where you're able to move forward. So at this point, I think it's really important for you to, instead of struggling against trying to move forward or backwards, it's like you have to just breathe and accept where you are. That's what I'm getting. There's a strong acceptance of not being able to speak up because you're afraid of what other people are saying. You're afraid of like that you're not going to be good enough or you're not enough. But the thing is, you are so worthy and you are enough, and people want to help you. It's also like recognizing that and not being in your own aura, your own bubble. because what this is showing me is that you're in the state of not moving forward, not moving backward, where you're kind of forced to wait on the world around you. So only you can be the one to say your piece. Only you can be the one to talk. I feel like there's somebody that they don't believe in you. I'm seeing this. It's actually, I'm seeing a guy, a man. This person does not believe in you. And you're letting what they're saying get to you. I feel like there is a strong detachment from the truth here. I feel like you're definitely okay in this moment. And just because someone offers to help you, it doesn't mean you have to take it, but you also have to be open to it, you know? Does that make sense to you, Antoinette? Because I don't want to steer you in the wrong direction. There's a lot of energies over here. So let me know. I feel like whatever is like I feel like there is a guy who doesn't believe you. I just feel like that. I think this person isn't necessarily like emotionally attached to you, but I feel like this could be in your workplace or in your passions. Perhaps there's something you've been trying to do. Like maybe you've been afraid to write a book. This is just an example. Or you've been afraid to let yourself, speak out about a certain thing or about the thing you care about. You don't feel like you're good enough to do it. I feel like you're afraid of what this person might think. But the truth is, I feel like you have what it takes to do that. It's just like they are not as involved as you think they are. Does that make sense? I know that's very, it's like this person wants to help you, but you also like, you haven't been able to speak through, like get to them. You know what I mean? Like with when the earthworm shows up, it indicates someone who may not be like at the top of their game, but they still have a lot to say and they still have a lot to contribute. It's just that they may not appeal to everybody. You know what I mean? So this often happens when you're working on a project that you really, really are excited about or you're passionate about, and like this is your time to speak up about it. Maybe you're in the beginning of your career and you don't feel like it's up to you to, like it's not worth it for you to really speak up to somebody or speak your truth. Does that make sense? I think it's more just about like looking for, instead of just being so hard on yourself, it's like you have to kind of let other people help you. Yeah. Yeah, see, this is what I'm saying, like, there's somebody that isn't necessarily emotionally attached, but the thing is you should be able to speak up, you know what I mean? And I feel like you're just in the state of, like, it's kind of like you're crippled. Not crippled, but, like, it's crippling you in the way that you just can't move forward or backwards, you can't get out of it, it's like you're stuck, you know? And the thing is, you are just waiting. You're in the situation where your life is just kind of like waiting. It's just hanging in the balance. But this person, I'm seeing this person coming in and trying to help you. I feel like whatever, like there are people, or this definitely see a man that's working against you who's not emotionally involved, but I do see people trying to help you. So what you need to do is really stay aware that you like keep an eye out for those people that do want to help you. Don't close yourself off because you're feeling like you're not good enough. I feel like you do have what it takes. You're just not at the level that you want to be in life. You know what I mean? Like at work or in general. Like this has a lot to do with, usually with your career, with feeling like you, because you're not like the highest of the high, like because you're not like really experienced at something, like you don't have years under your belt, you can't say something, but you can. You can say something. And you should accept the help that comes to you. You're not like helpless in the situation, is what I'm trying to say. So even if it feels that way right now, and it feels like people aren't valuing you, like you say, it's like, don't give up on this. Don't give up on yourself. You are so worthy of this. I feel like this is all temporary, but someone is here to like help you out of it. You know what I mean? So, and also make sure that you don't turn people away just because they don't necessarily have the same experience as you, especially with work. Like often we're like, well, you don't really know, you know? But I feel like it's like you have to get out of your own way. Yeah. So, does that make sense? I just want to make sure you got something out of this. It's a really positive thing to like have the fate card because it means that guidance is here for you and it will come no matter what. Like you're not alone. I think it comes out when someone is really in need of like to know that they are cared about and that they're not alone in the world. So, but part of that is like just, being in your situation. Yeah. Um all right. So I think who was next? Daphne, are you still there? I think you were next. Hi, Steve. I am doing readings, but I am going in order. So I would love to give you one, but I have to kind of go in order. So, yay. I would love to give you one. I'm just trying to see if the people who are like in line are here. Daphne, are you there? I don't want to like. All right. I'm going to. I want to like prioritize also the people who have contributed to me because like I feel like that's only fair. So just so you guys know, if I'm giving free readings, but if that comes up, I will probably prioritize that person because that's just like, you know, kind of why I'm here also. So, all right. Well, I haven't seen Daphne. So is Manure there? Thanks. Yeah, it's. I would love to give you a reading. I think that I can try to see. Let me see. Is that anyone else here? Okay, that's fine. I guess we can go to Steve since I haven't been able to see anybody. I'm sure they'll come back if they want to. All right, so Steve, is there anything you want to focus on? Thank you for being here. Is there anything you want to focus on, like a question, or do you want me to just give you like a general reading? Just life. Okay, that's valid. Okay. So I feel like you have been focused a lot on other people's issues in your life. Ooh, your 40th birthday. Happy birthday. Nice. Are you an Aries? So, yeah, so I feel like you have been really focused on other people's energy around you. It's like you need to kind of bring that focus back to yourself because it's almost like it's probably felt like okay, so Pisces Aries cusp. I love that. That's like one of my favorite cusps, the cusp of rebirth. Um, it might have felt like you've had to put a lot of energy towards other people, towards their lifestyle, towards who they are. And then at the same time, like you're having your birthday and it's time, this is your time to shine. I feel like you're not really focused enough on what's going on within. And a lot of this happens when we get carried away with life and we have to like take care of a lot of stuff. Thank you so much, Antoinette. It was a pleasure. Um, so I feel like, yeah, so this happens a lot when life kind of gets to you and you have to really focus on yourself, because if not, you can get so caught up mentally, like get carried away. And this is your time to be you. I feel like it's also a time for you to focus on what you love to do. Like this is a time for a focus on your life. The hawk is someone who's very vigilant, someone who is always like there for the people they care about, but they can go like all in. I feel like you can get very intense when it comes to the things that you love to do. And that's very Pisces Aries of you as well, because Pisces has so much depth, And I feel like Aries is like an arrow. So it's like this kind of combination of just this like emotional depth and this ability to think ahead. Yet at the same time, you can get very caught up in your projects and passions and things you're doing. Does this make sense, Steve? I just want to make sure I am on the right track because there is a lot of energy going on right now with this live. Okay. So I don't know if you've been traveling, but I feel like traveling is coming up or it's recent. I feel like you are like entering a new cycle in your life where it's time for you to like expand and grow. I feel like you're going to learn something new. There's something that you've been putting off. I'm hearing languages. Like I don't know if you speak multiple languages, but there's something about the way you, yeah, so it's like an expansion globally. I feel like this is the time for you to really branch out and learn to like own your skills on a new language. I feel like you're at a place where you're at this level in life where you're at this point where you have been working on skills so much, and then at the same time it's almost like you've reached the, what is it, the edge, or you've kind of reached the level, the highest level, and now it's like about sharing it with the world. I think that one of the issues I'm seeing here is might be marriage. I feel like marriage is a kind of rocky. Let me see. I see someone in your life, a love life, being very, very petty. I just see them like not being able to fully understand or get on board with what you're saying and what you're doing. It's like they're trying to rain on your parade a little bit. I feel like you're going places and they're like not, they don't know how. They don't know how to like keep up with you. And so they're reacting. I feel like they're reacting. They might be acting immature for their age. It's kind of what I'm getting, which is interesting. But this is your time where you're kind of looking down at your life and you're seeing everything the way it's supposed to be. And I feel like that if this is not about everyone else anymore. I love how this popped out at me. The King of Pentacles is like the king of his castle, the person who owns their own castle. Hi, Sarabi. I will definitely get to you, but I'm going in order. So whoever has been in line, and who's here, I will prioritize them. But for now, I'm working on this reading with Steve. So the King of Pentacles. Yeah. So the king of his castle, the person who's like kind of built his empire. That's kind of where you're at in life. With love, I feel like love is not your focus right now. Yeah, I just think that it's hard because not everyone like clearly this is a you thing, you know, like not everyone's going to be able to reach that height. But this is also a time of like I feel like there's something powerful ending, like a new cycle is beginning, but like also ending. It's like this chapter is closing in your life. Um and I think that's the main focus here. It's also about doing what you're passionate about, you know? I feel like you're a very emotionally passionate person. Yeah. And at the same time, it's like um yeah, at the same time it's going to be very important for you to just follow your passions, you know? The mermaid also has to do with, you know, beauty and good looks. This could mean like where you're kind of like you're like aging into yourself. You know, we have with the 40. I feel like you're probably someone I can't see your picture or anything, but I feel like you're probably someone who is good looking, someone who has like some charm to them. But someone who also can get very swept up in their emotions when it comes to love. And so I see you kind of having these two things that you're balancing, right? Like you have this empire you're building, and then you have this kind of like emotional mess, you know? And I think that it's really important for you to like instead of looking at all that, it's going to be about like looking like stop like start looking within. Start doing the work on yourself, you know? And I feel like with the hawk's always looking out, you know, he's scouting, right? But it's very focused on what's ahead. And it's also about being very like laser focused on what matters. So I feel like priorities are really out of whack for you, you know? And that's why it's really important for you to just like focus on one thing. You got to focus on either your passions or you got to focus on your career. I feel like your passions and your career are one right now, actually. Um, but just know that in time things will work themselves out. It's just like right now, okay. So there you have it, you know? I feel like these are things that kind of combine your passions and with public speaking it makes a lot of sense, but there's also a need in that kind of industry, especially the wellness industry, where there is a strong focus on other people, on you know like the physical around you, and you might be trying to help other people with that, but you need to do it for you too. You know, you need to also focus within. So it's interesting. This perception change needs to happen. And as far as love goes, like I feel like with the amount of love you have to give, yeah. So you see, like I feel like you the thing about path nines though is they also have to focus on themselves. That's it's like an overall theme here, right? Because there is this like there's so much strong connection with the world around them, and they have such a strong like they feel things right to their core. Yeah, so I feel like for you it's really like you've owned your skill, you're good at what you do, but now it's like all right, how can I focus on me and my journey, you know? Even if people think it's selfish, you're like the last thing from selfish, right? So it makes no sense for you to be worried about what other people are doing, what they're up to. Like this is your time to build your empire. I hope that helped. Did that make sense? I just need to make sure we're on the same course. Awesome. Well, good luck. Yes, thank you. I really wish you the best. That's really exciting. I'm really happy for you. Happy birthday. All right. Oh, you're back, Manor. Okay. I hope that's how you say your name. I don't know. Thank you so much, Steve. Okay. I am here. Okay. I'm glad. Yeah. Okay, good. All right. Just checking. I wasn't sure. Um, what is there anything in particular you would like me to focus on? What are Habib's current thoughts and feelings for me? Okay, let us see. Wow. Okay. I feel like I am sensing that they feel very serious about you for some reason, but I don't see necessarily it being about love. I'm going to pull some more cards so I can get more clarity. But when the wise one comes up, it's really about tradition and like honoring your values and your tradition. I feel like they share a lot of the same kind of values as you for some reason. Okay. With the cheetah, I feel like you have a lot of like you have a very big energy. And I feel like sometimes Habib can get very swept up in that. I feel like they kind of see you as this big deal, but I don't necessarily see them being like emotionally um invested in you. You know what I mean? I feel like they see you as someone who has a lot of pride. You're a very proud person. I feel like you kind of own your energy and you're very confident, and I think that that is very appealing to them. It's like I'm just seeing that they're not in a place yet where they fully have like emotional like depth feelings. Does that make sense, Manor? I want to make sure I'm, channeling your energy. There's so many people watching. Maybe. Okay. So, what are you confused about? Because I can definitely try to narrow it down for you. I feel like with the Ace of Swords, this is definitely like a painful truth, you know? I feel like there's something very like difficult about this matchup. It's like it's almost like one of you is like hogging the spotlight energetically. Oh, I'm seeing platonic. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't see romantic. I see that this person values you. I feel like they're attracted to you, but I don't see them being romantic. I see them seeing you as someone who's very like who has very big energy. Um and I feel like there's a sense of pride about you that they see, but I don't see them romantic. Yes. Um, I need to like look. Okay. Sorry, I'm just like it's just like a switch up from the question. So, um, all right. Let's see. What I will say about that is I don't like to talk about. Well, you retracted it now, but I don't like to tell people what they will and will not do. Because that's just not what I do as a psychic. I don't think I can do that. Like I can't tell you what you're gonna do. Um, but so I can't really tell you that question. I can't tell you will you do that. I can look at like what's in store or something like that, but I don't tell people like whether they will or will not do something because we all have free will. Like I can't tell you to get on a bus. Okay. I think I might have to like limit the amount of questions, so I'm gonna answer that one, and then I will probably just stick to one in the future because there's so much energy coming off this live right now. Okay, I don't feel like expressing yourself. Like if you're talking about your feelings, I don't feel like expressing your feelings to Habib is a really good idea right now. I feel like Habib is not in the same, it's like they're not in the same aura field. I just don't see them being someone you should express yourself to. I can't tell you what to do, like I said, but it is definitely like, yeah, I just don't see them being, I what I see happening if you express your feelings is I just don't see it going your way. I don't see it being like like a terrible experience, but I do see that it's going to be like, it's going to feel like a dead end. That's what it's going to feel like, you know? I hope that was helpful. I'm very like blunt. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. Thank you, Manor. Sorry about the mix-ups. Okay. All right. I need to look at like who was here. I don't know if Daphne's still here. This is very fast. I might just have to go with whatever comes up, guys. Is Surabi still here? There's all these names. I don't know if I'm pronouncing them right. Hi. Okay. So Surabi's not here. Okay. Okay. I don't know how to say your name. Amanjot, is that how you say it? I don't know. You'll have to tell me if that's right. I always feel bad for like if I butcher someone's name. Okay. Good. All right. So, you want to know if you'll get your master's degree this year? So, I don't like to tell people what they will and will not do because we all kind of have free will, but I'm going to look at the situation and see what I see, okay? Because it just that's like I can't tell you to get your master's degree, but I feel like this is the time where I could see you definitely getting your master's degree. I feel like with the warrior, this is a time where a chapter is closing, so it's like a new energy is opening. And as far as like you kind of hanging up the mantle and taking up what's next for you. So this definitely could represent a time where you do get your master's degree. There's a chapter closing, um, and you finally feeling like you can move forward. Does that make sense? Yeah. See, it's more about like, yeah, cuz you can't really I can't really tell you what your like what degree you're going to get. You know what I mean? But I can tell you energetically where things are going, and I feel like this is a time where when the warrior retires, they hang up their coat and they kind of have to change directions in their life. They move forward. Um, so I want to like be very honest about that. The bee can get very burnt out. I feel like the bee often happens when they're feeling like they're so good at working, like they work really hard, but then they end up like burning out because it's just so much. It's so overwhelming. Does that make sense? I'm sorry you're going through that. That really sucks. Maybe it's better to look at like your career and where things are going as opposed to whether you will or will not get a piece of paper. Because yeah. All right. I feel like there's so much like this is a very loaded situation. So I want to like focus on one question so we can really get into to the bottom of it. And I think it's really important for us to look at like clearly these are different areas of your life you're not doing well in. And I a lot of this has to do with doing something that doesn't light up every day to the point where you lose a lot of your energy. And I feel like with the Page of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles often represents a student, somebody who is kind of forced to focus on themselves because the more they focus on other things, it's like they're so burnt out energetically. So I just feel like for you, it's really like you can't even focus. You're so focused on like all these other little things happening in your life, but it's like exhausting. That's the energy that's coming off here. It's just like this exhausting energy. And as far as your family goes, I mean, this isn't even about your family. Like that is a byproduct of the situation you're in, you know? I feel like if your family doesn't understand you, that's I'm not saying your family's not important, but I feel like the situation revolves around you, not them. And so figuring out what to do with your energy without thinking about them is what's the most important for you, you know? Um, it's like a new chapter in your life needs to open up. You need to finish whatever you're doing needs to end because right now it's like you have nowhere else to go, you know? Like it's kind of like this if you had all this room to travel through, it's like there's no more. Like you have kind of reached a limit, you know? That's what I'm seeing with this bee is the bee can get so like has a lot of nervous energy. And so yeah, I feel like you are not able to like you're not able to see your future right now because your energy is so burnt out. It's like you can't think clearly about it, you know? That's why it's very difficult because I'm channeling your energy, right? Like, so I'm seeing your cards, your energy, and I'm whoa, this person has a lot of um like this feeling of exhaustion, burnout. You know, I'm an empath. So when I see that, I'm not trying to tell you like it's hopeless or you shouldn't go for the government job, but I'm just telling you like why it's harder for me to see too because I'm putting myself in your I'm channeling you. Um and I feel like when you get the Page of Pentacles reversed, it definitely is it's really a focus on looking inward, you know, and instead of constantly having to learn more and constantly needing to go, back to school or wondering which routes to take, it's like you have to find a way to get out of this burnout. I mean, you would go into a government job or your dream job, right? And you would just burn out. Like you would not be able to like enjoy it, right? Because you're in this headspace. I'm just seeing energetically, there's like so much going on. Yeah. Yeah. I don't blame you. Like this looks exhausting to me, just like looking at this. Like being in this situation is probably really it's not just like exhausting, it's like it's making everything else impossible, you know? And I feel like you have to do what's right for you, but also remain objective about this because letting your family and your emotions like they're all over the place because you're so ungrounded right now. And it might feel like you're talking to people a lot. You are like explaining things to people or you feel like you're constantly explaining things, but it's it's not you. That's just this energy, you know? Does that make sense? So what I would tell you to do with this is look instead of trying to focus so much on all these things, like you're worried like what if should I do this? Should I do that job? Should I Is my family gonna like this? Are they not gonna like this? Like there's so much, right? There's so much. Yes. Yes. So I feel like that is another thing. Like with the bee, they are always trying so hard to, they often don't know their limits. They want to work so hard. They want to be that busy bee, right? That's constantly like going for it and doing their thing. But how can they, right? Because they kind of don't know when to say stop, right? Like it's, I don't know. It's like your energy's really like burnt. Yeah. My advice is to really like, you have to kind of be okay with things not going the way you want. I'm not saying they're not going to, but you have to find peace with that so that you can go in another direction. I feel like what you're doing, like you've closed this part of yourself. So I'm not saying don't pursue your career or don't try to get a job in the in government, okay? But what I am saying is even if you do all that stuff, you're going to be miserable. Like this has a lot to do with your not taking care of your own energy, right? So it's so hard to think clearly when we're surrounded by so much drama, right? Like it's there's so much going on. Like I can just feel that. And it can feel like things are never enough. Like financially too, it can feel like you're afraid or maybe you're constantly relying on support. So what I would say is for you to, like I said, you have to pick a different angle. You have to say, okay, I have to stop, you know? I know that it's not easy to do that, especially when your family is there and everybody else is there, but like there's no way you can keep going. You have to stop. You have to take a pause. And like, it doesn't mean that it's forever, but you have to somehow get your energy back. And I know that's probably not what you want to hear, but I can tell you right now that it has nothing to do with the government job. It has nothing to do with your family. It has everything to do with your energy. The minute you can recharge and like get out of this, right? This burnout, all that stuff is possible for you. All that stuff is on the table. But like spirit can't even tell you where to go because all I'm feeling is this I like there's no way. It just wants what's best for you? So it's like it won't let me tell you to go get this job or that job or talk to this person or that person because if not, you're just like charging into something without any resolution, right? It's not going to get it'll only get worse. And like spirit would never tell you something if it would make it worse, right? So I hope that makes sense. I'm kind of yeah, this is a lot. I mean, as a psychic, that's what I do. I feel people's energies and like this is whew, you have a lot of like stuff going on. It's not hopeless, but you're gonna have to, yeah, you have to find a way to like, I'm not saying give up, but you might have to stop. It's like look at how you're scheduling your time, right? Like, are there commitments that you have towards your family, towards your work, towards this and that? Find a way to just stop. Um, this doesn't necessarily mean quitting your job. Obviously, that's hard for people to do, but you might have to do something drastic to make sure that you're able to like start fresh because yeah, it's just not working. That's all I can tell you really. I'm sorry that the cards aren't more like future driven, but they're just like I gotta I gotta just say this. Oh, you asked if the subliminal? Yeah, I don't I don't know about subliminals. I've not explored that, but yeah, I think that it's like what you're doing in life right now, this is not the answer. Like it's not working. All this worrying about the government job, this job, that job, like it's very valid, but it's first of all, you're 24. Like give me a break. But also, like you're clearly like you have a lot of ambition. You're working towards your future. Like I totally understand that. But if you're burnt out at 24, like if you keep going, like you're gonna like have some serious issues, in the future. I feel like this is intense. So work on knowing your limits, feeling through how much, you know, like know your limits. Yeah. How much are you exerting of yourself? Are you resting? When do you stop talking to someone? Like, kind of navigate these parts of your life because you're not thinking about anything clearly right now. And that's okay. It's just like something you got to do. Yeah. Yeah. But I also think that it's also about like resisting things. Like you're sitting at home, right? And you're like, I need to go out. I want to go out, right? You're not actually sitting with yourself at home. You're just thinking about what's out here, you know? You're not actually like being like actually like surrendering to it and letting go. I think that is really scary, this idea of letting go, because it involves like really just fully like being like, well, like if life gets to me, then oh well, like but yeah, it's hard. And I think you also like have this a lot of the time when these cards come up, it has to do with like doing, and constantly needing to be productive and do, and like, can you just be, can you just like be in this moment without needing to go outside or stay in? I understand. It's really scary. I don't blame you at all, and I don't think you would be in this situation unless you had to, right? Unless you had to get a job and be financially stable, like, of course. So, I understand. But if there's some way you can maybe cut back on, like, some activities or try to notice your energy when it becomes too much, then slowly you'll, like, heal, as opposed to just, like, you don't have to quit altogether. Obviously, like, for your energy, that would be great, but clearly, like, you also don't wanna be in a state where you can't survive, you know? So yeah, it's just, like, it sucks that you're in this headspace too. So, um, okay. I feel like, the message, like, that's all the cards are they're kinda just regurgitating things to me here. So, but I hope this was helpful, at least somewhat. I don't like to sugarcoat things, or I wouldn't tell you these things unless I really, felt they were necessary. But it's like your energy is just burnt out. It's exhaustion. Okay. Um, I don't think that's what it is. I personally think it's probably something you did to yourself by working so hard without breaks, or staying up late, or like talking, or like constantly hanging out with people, like it's something like that. It's not like whether it was like your education or like just it's like we don't all have the same levels of energy. I just think that it's something like that, which means you can fix it. it's not like you're doomed to never work again or never do anything again, right? Like, imagine how wonderful you're going to feel. Yeah. Oh, Tom Murphy, I don't know if you're still here, but thank you so much for watching my videos. That's really, really nice of you. Okay. All right. I think that that's good. Um, I'll let you sit with that because I know that was a lot and it was a little chaotic, but I think it was very powerful message for you. So, okay, who do we have next? You're welcome. I'm really glad. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I don't know who is here currently. So, if you want to ask a question, I can definitely answer. But I feel like Tom, hi. Um, your video with my Taurus. Oh, you guys watch it together? That's cool. I always love when couples do that. That's really exciting. Um, I'm glad. All right. I've been talking for hours. So, I know a lot of people asked if they wanted a reading, but I don't know who does anyone want one? Because okay. I don't know how to say your name. Is it Golly? I don't Yeah, I'm terrible with names. Okay, awesome. That's a cool name. Um, do you have any specific questions you would like to ask? If not, I can just look at the like a general reading, but let me know if there's anything in particular you want to know. Okay. So let's just see what the cards have to say. I I love how this card came up earlier, but it came up the other way, and this is really exciting because I feel like you have been so focused on your own self and like what's going on within. I feel like you've been doing a lot of work on yourself lately, and your attention has been really focused on your own needs, your own bubble. But I feel like you really need to focus on the outside world. Like I feel like your awareness needs to be more focused around you as opposed to the other way around. So I feel like for you, this is a time of intense reflection and just raising your awareness about other people and situations you're in, as opposed to always being focused on your own healing, your own path. Does that make sense? I feel like when it comes to the fox, You're somebody that's extremely, like, intelligent. I don't know if you're an educator or a teacher of some kind or a mentor, but, like, you have so much, like, wisdom already. It's like I feel like you're an old soul. You have just, like, this way about you that is so people are drawn to you, I feel like. And in the past, maybe you had, like, some bad, with the fox, people can often see them as shifty or but I feel like for you, it's been more of a positive journey. So, yeah. I also feel like for you, your soulmate is very important to you. I feel like there's a very strong love message through all this. I feel like when you're the fox, it often has to do with like a partner, being in a relationship. Are you in a relationship right now? Because if you're getting this card, you're likely in a relationship. Like it's very common. I just want to make sure that I proceed properly. Okay, so well, then this is a sign. I feel like this is a really powerful sign. The fox, when they mate for life, right? So it's kind of like you're finding this is a time for you where you're going to really find that person that you're connecting with. And I feel like it's been a while, perhaps, but this is a powerful kind of dynamic when it comes to love. But it can also represent like just like being a teacher, being a mentor, being someone who has a lot of wisdom to share with other people as well. Yeah. So I feel like you're in a time of healing, of coming out of some kind of crisis or intense intensity, like there's a very strong feeling of things were really chaotic and now you're finally kind of breathing, you're finally getting through it and you're finally able to focus away from yourself and focus on other things, other people. I feel like you have this kind of expanding energy right now. This feeling of like, I can finally see what's before me. Things are finally kind of coming into clarity, coming into fruition. With the Page of Pentacles, there's like this very abundant energy. I feel like you can manifest things. And I love this because the Page of Pentacles often represents like a student, someone who has been learning from you, or I feel like there's someone has been learning from you, um, or that wants to learn from you. Does this make sense? Just want to make sure I'm on the right path with you. Yes. Okay. That's good. I feel like I've been getting this card especially today, because it's kind of like the overall energy, I think, in the collective. But it really is telling here because it means that your emotions are really like, I feel like you've learned that emotions are something you have to feel, you have to express. I'm getting the sense that you're someone that has a lot of like, you're kind of an old soul. And so you've had this kind of like journey already. And I feel like your feelings are just kind of like just coming through, you're purging them. Um, this may feel like other people are a little more emotional than you around you, and it can amplify you a little bit. There's like a very strong feeling of, I just keep seeing like a window and this feeling of, it's like, I don't know, I keep seeing these symbols, okay? I keep seeing a window and I keep seeing a cypress tree. And what this really reminds me of is like the cypress tree represents like a soul, someone who has always kind of been there. And even as life goes on and goes forward, we're able to find meaning in this person. Like it's like they're like a statue and the world is kind of rushing around them. I don't know. It's a very like I'm very intuitive, so it's kind of just focused on that, but it's like you're kind of this person that stands tall and like everyone else is kind of moving around you. You're just like this there's such a steady foundation with you. I feel like you have so much to offer other people. And when you commit to something, you commit all the way. Like you are all in. I feel like you care deeply and you're all in when you know, there's like this healing that's been happening. And it's like you're somehow coming out of it now. It's really beautiful. I just this is such a like a refreshing kind of reading because the energy's so just like expansive and beautiful. All right. Woo. So this is really also I love how we have these two travel cards here. So I also feel like this could have to do with you traveling or taking some kind of journey. But what I'm getting is a lot of this is like healing and spiritual. I feel like you are finally able to detach yourself from a lot of things. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is a period of just like more freedom for you. It's like you were tied down to things before. And now it's like you're able to finally like let go of certain things. This also is like you're reevaluating what's important to you. I feel like you're in this state where you're able to kind of like you've learned to kind of take care of your own needs. And so you're able to let go of what's no longer serving you. And it could also definitely represent like travel and taking on a journey. But this is a journey where you're going to learn a lot. I feel like you're gonna learn a lot of things. Yeah. I feel like this is a really beautiful moment where you're also able to let go of certain people in your life, certain situations. It's like you're able to just like, I don't know, it's like something has been holding you down and now you're able to like grow and blossom. So, but the fox doesn't come up in this position without you having been through a lot of really difficult things. Like the fox doesn't come up and you don't get to be this person that's so wise and like put together, like the teacher. You don't get to be this person without having gone through your own ordeal first. You had to learn a lot. And I feel like it's now like you're able to pass on things to other people. That's just what I'm getting. Like, I don't know if are you a teacher or something? Like, does that make sense? Because it's just like I'm getting this very strong education vibe. It is the best teacher. But I also feel like there's something great about having good teachers. Okay, so you're a leader. That makes sense. And I also feel like this could be a time where you actually find, you know, a person you can lead with, you know, or someone that you feel like can be your equal. Because I feel like that's probably been a struggle based on your cards here. And I think that the worst is over for you. It's almost like you figured out what is most important to you, and finding balance in the world around you. I feel like there's like this idea of like a waterfall. You just can't stop things from flowing, from falling away. Hello, Primrose and Laura. Yeah. But this is a good sign because it means that this person, like all that struggle, it's just going to, it's like part of the journey. And I feel like this is your time. Like it's good that you didn't meet the person yet, right? It's good that you're not in a relationship because this means that like you have space, you have room to meet the one, you know? Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here. Um and this is like a very general kind of look into your life, but I hope this was a little helpful. I feel like for you, the main lesson here is just to really start focusing outward. Use what you've learned, use this growth that you've experienced, and start like teaching or, you know, turning it outward because you're coming out of this kind of storm. You can finally breathe, you can expand, things are abundant and beautiful, but it's like, how can you let go and just move forward? Thank you so so much for tuning in. I really enjoyed this reading. It was like a fresh of breath a breath of fresh air. I did not just say that. All right. So, does anyone else want a reading? I want to make sure that I'm getting it. Thank you so much, Golly. It's nice talking to you. Sayani, is that how you say your name? Yes, I can give you one. Is there anything in particular you want to focus on? Or do you just want like a general reading of what I see? Um, Sarabi. Oh yeah, I tried to call for you, but you weren't there. And I just didn't know what to do. So um I'll have to read you if you wanna your question. It's okay. I felt bad. I didn't know what to do. um I will, but I have to do Sayani first because I just told her I would. This is like me and my person. We both blocked each other. Is he going to contact me? What does he feel about this separation? Oh boy. Can you please let me know? Um, okay. All right. I'm sorry you're going through this. This is heavy. Okay. We have the thief here. So there are a lot of questions to what you've asked me, Sayani. Um, and I want to just like kind of look at your dynamic first because I feel like that will be better than kind of sorting through everything. Wow. Okay. So I feel like with the thief here reversed, that this person has kind of, it's like you are kind of, I don't even know how to explain this because it's so complicated. I feel like for you, it's like you have been doing a lot for this situation. You've been doing a lot for this relationship. I feel like you also have been very focused on like taking care of things yourself. And I feel like for you, it's going to be really important for it's like you can't even you don't even have any more love to spend. You know what I mean? The storyteller is really interesting because it reminds us that sometimes we're both the characters in our story. And I feel like the way you guys have been operating is that you have been your own character and he's been his own character. And it's kind of like you're not actually in each other's story. You know what I mean? So it's really important for you to not feel like you can control the narrative. Does that make sense? Because you both are living your own story. You both are the main characters in this relationship. And I feel like there is a strong sense of like darkness around him. It's like a lot of anger is coming through, a lot of feeling like things just are it's not like spite, but it's like it's very close. I feel like a lot of anger. It's almost like this person feels like you have kind of it's like you guys have both been the main characters. So you're both kind of living your own story and you're not able to see each other's viewpoints. It's like that. It's very like you both are very strong-willed. You know what I mean? It's like you both are very like in your head and it also has to do with someone who tends to be dramatic. I feel like that's a theme going on right now in the collective. It's just like this drama. It's interesting because you want him to be more like, yeah, we were just getting to know each other at December. He went away to January, back to me in March, and now he's gone again. Ugh, I'm so sorry. It's like what I'm sensing here is that he really wants it's like he's kind of looking for a fight. I don't know why this is saying this, but he's looking for a fight. It's like he's looking for conflict. He wants to provoke you a little bit. That's what I'm getting here. And for you, I feel like you want someone to go on adventures with. I feel like you're the kind of person that really wants to like explore and kind of have this like fiery relationship with. I feel like there is some enabling a little bit. And as far as it's almost like you're trying to force your story onto him and his story onto you. It's just this vibe I'm getting of like you both have very strong energies. Yeah, like you want to you want to go on adventures, you want to do things and it's like I feel like for him he kind of like I don't know if he gets off on it, but it's like I feel like he's trying to challenge you. You know, he wants to challenge you. And so that's kind of like playing games, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like to try to challenge someone or get on their nerves, right? I feel like he really does need to be alone, though. And I think that's why he left. I don't think it has much to do with you at all. I think he might be making it feel like that, but what I'm seeing here is you're not the reason he left. You know, maybe you had some part in like something, but I feel like you are not the reason he left at all. It's like he's trying to just like he needs to really focus on himself, but he's so busy trying to like poke, you know? Yeah. Let me jump to that because I feel like there is a lot of stuff going on, and I'm trying to sort through it all. So, okay. So I feel like this person is just not really like he's you guys don't have the same vision, for the future. I feel like you both are trying really hard to kind of do your own thing, but also like be exciting. And I just feel like for you, it's more like you can't really see the vision happening. And I feel like there's also like a lot of just fear and anxiety on each end. So unless he can get past that, I don't see this working. So I just feel like whatever you're trying to make happen, it can't come to fruition because he's not really like in the right headspace. And I feel like until he's able to see your point of view and really like be part of the story together, it's just not going to work. There's a sense of control. Like he needs control over the situation, and you want to, be able to like really enjoy what you have in the moment and just make the most of it, and I feel like you guys are not on the same page. So, does that make sense? Well, that's a whole separate question. I don't see him contacting you, at least not right now. I feel like until he is able to have like this kind of feeling of control over his life, I feel like he's probably not going to contact you. But I mean, if he does, it's more like, you just it's this kind of thing, the narrative that you have. So I just but I don't see it happening. I think you definitely can work through this. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why it's so like all over the place because you can work through it, but you both have to be aligned in your vision. So when you do talk to him, you know, and either one of you can reach out. Like this whole thing of will he talk to me first or not? It's like at the end of the day, that's really not important. What's important is like it's more like his story, like he's trying to deal with his story. And can you both really come up with the vision that you both share? Can you really see your relationship and the way you want it? And can you be on the same page about it? So instead of focusing so much on like what happened or what went down, try to focus on what you both want in the future. I would say, like when you talk to each other. I don't see this being the end of the story. Like, I feel like if you do talk in the future, because that's up to you whether you talk or not. Um, right now, I don't see that. Right now, I don't see that. But it also has to do with what you do about it. So it's like, the future's not set in stone, but the way things are going, I do not see it, turning into a friendship or a romantic union. But that can always change based on if you're able to overcome this, right? Like if you're able to overcome this and see the vision that you both share. Yeah. If you can stop both being like main characters in your own story and you're able to like come together, then you can. But it's right now the way things are, you can't. Does that make sense? I understand like you want this to be a thing. Like you obviously this is painful. I mean, as far as, like, having each other locked, it's like you both are living these separate timelines. I don't wanna keep, I feel like I've said what I need to say about this particular reading, and I feel like adding questions is just, like, not helpful. Yeah, I can't imagine how it must feel, and I'm really sorry you're going through that. But it does sound like he has some things he has to work through, and it's probably good that he's on his own right now because it's clear he can't work through them when he's with you, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So like I don't like to say things like this person will never contact you. It all depends on what you do. Like I can't control whether this person will or will not do something. but if you do this, then they will. You know, if you're able to come together and like see the same vision and stop being the same, like this main character, it takes two to tango. So it's really frustrating, especially when you're both blocked, right? But I also feel like it's clear to me that it will go faster if you like maybe take the lead, but you can't force it clearly, you know, like I said, he needs to be on his own. Yeah. I wish you the best. I really hope it works out for you. And I hope he does reach out and like everything works out, but right now the cards are just like leaning this way, you know? Yeah. Okay, so Robbie, are you here? Thank you so much, Sayani. I'm really grateful that you stopped by. Okay, so let me look at your question. Um, I have to find it. I've given an exam. Will I get more than 14 number out of 20 marks? So I don't deal in like numbers, but I can tell you kind of which way the exam is going or what to look out for. But I cannot tell you like exactly what numbers because that would be fraudulent. Does that make sense? I don't want to like deceive you or like lead you on in any way. I just want to be real about that. Okay. Um, and I can also try to tell you like maybe what would help you with your exam as opposed to like just telling you like because I don't feel like it's very helpful to just tell someone like where things will go. Like it's more helpful to like learn like what you can do to shape your, you know, like to shape your results or to make things work in your favor. But let's see what it has to say. Interesting. So with the puppeteer, the puppeteer already tells me that like there is a lot of things like pulling the strings, right? That you just don't have any control over. So I feel like that's really like the message there. But I do feel like when this happens, I personally, I don't see things going the way you want them to. That doesn't mean you're going to fail your exam, all right? But it does mean that I see you making a mistake that could really cost you. And I feel like that's something you can, as a person, right? You can overcome during the exam. But I feel like right now, the way things are going, one of the things I see is that you're not explaining something enough, like in your exam. I don't know what your exam is, so I'm just kind of going with the energy I'm feeling because I don't know enough about your situation. But energetically, what I'm getting is that like you're I see you making a mistake and it's because you didn't explain something enough. Like it may come across as you not really like working through something. Um yeah. So this happens a lot like I don't know, on SATs where we have an exam and we have to kind of show our work, right? Oh, have you been given the exam already? Okay. Well, well then let's I mean this still applies. So, but with the beaver, this also has to do with like this is a very hard working like card. And I feel like when the beaver appears, it's always a good sign, but it just means that you will not be, yeah, I feel like you're going to be happy with your result, the way things are going. I don't I don't see, I mean, what I do see is that there is a mistake that will make things more difficult, but I do see you being happy with the result. I feel like it's going to be, also, I feel like other people are going to be really happy for you, is what I'm getting. The beaver has a lot to do with family, so feeling like, other people are vouching for you. And yeah, I do see you being happy. That was a pretty straightforward question. um, I'm actually going to go because, yeah. Well, like I said, it's going to go in your favor. So for sure, I would say that's a positive thing, right? Just based on things. But I do feel like there's a mistake. I don't, which doesn't look good. I have to go though because I can't, like, my throat is killing me. So I, maybe next time, okay? I appreciate it. I really hope that this mistake is doesn't cost everything. I don't think it will though, based on the way things are. All right. You guys are awesome. Um, have a fantastic day. Thank you so much. I'm so tired, but I am really, like, I feel very fulfilled. So thank you.